What's going on? My name is Brian. Along beside me, we have my good friend. What's your friend? What's my friend's name?
It's Aces.
Aces. And who are we, Aces?
We are worth the download.
Fantastic. So today we're doing a pop artist. It's pretty interesting. His name is Ed Sheeran. He released an album called Divide. Got that right the first time. Bang. And what can we say about the album? Did we enjoy it?
Yeah, I would say that I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So, full disclosure, I went into this album not having heard an Ed Sheeran album, back to front. Only, really the singles and stuff that I had heard, right? And we'd heard the one single from this album, right, that had come out, Shape of You. Mm-hmm. And it sounded like a really poppy track, right? And so we were thinking, is that going to be the feel for this album? Is it going to be really poppy?
We were scared.
We were a little bit. We were like, is this really going to be, a fun album to review? But you know what? Overall, I was actually impressed by the album. I was not actually disappointed like I thought I was going to be, but that being said, I wasn't blown away either. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, the way that I felt about this album was after listening to this album, I really delved into some of his old stuff just because I wanted to see how this new album compared to his old stuff, and I think he didn't sell out, right? I think he kept it pretty well. What do you think?
Well, yeah, so I think so getting back, he didn't sell out. I definitely agree with that. Coming on to the single itself, it wasn't very when I heard it, I thought okay, the whole album is going to be like that. So it didn't turn out to be that way. What you were talking about, what I can actually say about this album in particular is that me not being a fan, I actually enjoyed it to a length, a limit. But is it a good album in particular for other people to enjoy? 100%. I kind of gotta give it a biased and unbiased opinion about the particular album. That's really much all I can really say. Is it worthy for a lot of things? I think so. I personally think there's probably one or two songs that are even wedding worthy that people can actually I will remember stuff like that, and people will actually cry to it. The last song in particular, I personally liked it a lot because it kind of reminded me a little bit what I got through. But whatever, that's a totally different topic. What else can you say?
Well, I'm going to say that, yeah, I think it was kind of similar sort of idea. There's definitely a couple of pop tracks in there. He really does know how to write a pop track. Shape of You was, I think, one that stood out, obviously, from the others, but there's definitely some other tracks that I can almost see being the next follow-up, singles after, through this album. But I kind of like what you were saying, right? I feel like after a while, though, I was kind of over the album. It was a pretty long album because we listened to the deluxe version, right? So it was 16 or 17 tracks. Mm-hmm. And probably about after 9 or 10 tracks, I was like, okay, cool. I get the idea for this album, and I was kind of done with it, but I still listened through the whole thing. And there's a few tracks for sure that definitely stood out to me that I enjoyed for myself personally. But it was definitely an album that I would keep on my phone and I would listen time and time again.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
So when you were hearing the album the first time,
yes,
because I know what I did when I heard the album for the first time. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna tell you what I did after that.
Okay.
Did you ever pause the album and then maybe later on in the day continue to listen to the album?
You took a break from the album?
Took a break?
No.
I did.
You did?
I did, yeah.
I didn't. I actually listened through it all the way through because that was the idea, right? I wanted to just kind of get a full feel for first impression sort of thing, and then I went back and I listened to a few random tracks and listened through it one more time, back to front. And I will say that the second time around, some of the tracks grew a little bit more on me since I guess I had heard them that time before. But still, again, I got that same feeling though after halfway through the album. I was just I'm kind of done with the
Pretty
album,
much, yeah.
Right? I just wanted to give it a fair review, and so kind of like you were saying, right? I feel like I have to give this almost 2 reviews, just because I think there's going to be that fan base of people who who really like Ed Sheeran, and comparing some of this album to his old stuff, I feel it does hold up. I don't think, like I said, he didn't sell out. So for the fans out there, you're definitely going to like this album. It's definitely going to be worth the download for you. However, for those who who are just kind of just listening to it for the hell of it, kind of like we were, you'll be like, meh. Right?
Pretty much,
so,
yeah.
So when it comes down to a score, okay, for me, out of 5, I'll give it, my unbiased review would be a 3.5. My fan review would probably be a 4, so I'm going to go halfway-ish. I'll say 3.75 love songs for this one. What do you give it out of 5?
I would say it's definitely a pass in my book. So I did enjoy it, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say it definitely a 3 out of 5. There are some songs I would consider keeping in there just to kind of remind me of what the album was, right? I guess as a like you were saying, as a fan base, people are gonna love it. That stuff it could be a 4, maybe 4.5, depending if you're a girl. It's definitely a panty dropper.
Okay.
It's definitely a panty dropper.
All right.
It's for the women. Yeah, that's all I can say about that.
Okay. Cool. So there you go. There's the review for us. Next week, what are we going to be reviewing?
Next week we're reviewing a band, old school band. What year did they start doing it?
Oh, they were back in the early 90s.
Early 90s. It's called Bush. Don't know what the album's called. We could probably find information.
We'll find out for you guys for next week for sure.
Yeah.
But we're definitely going to be reviewing Bush's new album. So make sure you subscribe so that way you guys know when we drop that next video. But let us know what you guys thought about this album. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you meh about it? Let us know in the comments. We're curious, to get some of that feedback because we're still on the fence. We don't know, did we love it? Did we hate it? We don't know. We're kind of just like meh. Yeah. So make sure you guys leave some comments below, and I guess we'll catch you guys in the next one.
I'm excited for some UK Bush.
Some UK Bush?
Yeah.
Come on, baby. I'm in love with your body. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you.